One night 6 years ago, astronomers on Earth beheld a huge explosion of gas upon the surface of Mars. They saw a mass of flame moving towards the Earth at a great speed. Then came the night of the first falling star crashing onto the surface of the Earth. A small knot of men advancing towards the direction of the following star, the foremost of whom was waving a white flag. They wanted to make peace with the Martians. Suddenly, there was a flash of light and smoke came out of the pit. Then flashes of actual flame, a bright fire leaping and sprang towards the scattered group of men. People, trees and even nearby houses were turned to flame. "We can't possibly stay here. We could go to my cousin's house at Leatherhead." After settling down my wife in Leatherhead, I left her and headed back to London to return the horse and cart. As I approached the town, I saw a light fell through the night and landed in the east. It was the third falling star. A minute later, I saw something moving down the hill. It was tripod, higher than a house, a walking engine of glittering metal, and within it was the one of the terrible octopus-like Martian. Seconds later, a second tripod came crashing through the woods towards me. I tried to stop, but the horse slipped and the cart overturned. The horse was dead. On my way, I saw some military units. They were firing cannons and the shell managed to hit the striding tripod. At last, the tripod and the Martian within lay still dead. Making my slow way towards London, I found an abandoned boat and rowed away from the destruction. The Martians had resumed their attack. 3 Martian tripods had emerged from their pit and marched through the devastated town. They were each carrying thick black tubes with discharge canisters from them. These canisters smashed open upon striking the ground, and an enormous volume of inky vapor coiled out and spread over surrounding. The touch of that vapor, the inhaling of its pungent whiff, was death to all creatures. I managed to hide in an abandoned house with a small opening. Now, I could clearly see the Martian huge round bodies. The face had no nostril, but a pair of very large dark-colored eyes and a fleshly beak. Arranged around the mouth were 16 slender whip-like tentacles. Suddenly, I heard a noise outside. I saw the tentacle of handling machine appear through the small opening of the house. It nearly touched me. I was on the verge of screaming. For a moment, the tentacle was still, and then it withdrew. After a few days, I listened, but the pit was quiet. All the machinery had gone. I decided to make my way back to my house. I was surprised to find that some fronds of red weeds from Mars had grown across the area outside of the house. As I proceeded through the writer's crimson weed, I realized that the red weed had succumbed to the terrestrial bacteria that had destroyed them. London was so quiet, and I thought the human race was wiped out by the Martian. All around, I saw the bodies of more than 50 Martians. The Martian had been slain as the red weed had been slain by bacteria found on Earth that do not exist on Mars. At last, I arrived at my home. I turned to the French window, which was open. There, amazed and afraid, were my cousin and wife. My wife was pale and tearful. We hugged and gave a faint cry. 6 years have now passed. It may be that in the larger design of the universe, this invasion from the Mars is not without some benefits. Its gifts to the advancement of human science are enormous, and it has shown us in the most dramatic fashion that all humankind must work together when faced by a universal threat.